Good evening, media students. Thank you for pressing play. Welcome to the first of a few, I hope, flipped lesson tutorials that I'm going to give you. I am your media teacher, and I thought that it's probably about time that I used a bit of media too. So it's nice to have that opportunity. Plus, I think speaking to you this way will give me the opportunity to get a word in edgeways without Abby or Amelia interrupting me every 3 seconds. So I'm going to talk to you for about 10 minutes just about the beginning of the graphic design process, in particular pitching an idea and some of the pre-production planning that goes into it. My aim in doing this is just to build your confidence a bit and pull up the level of skill in those first 2 tasks. If anything, I've noticed in our controlled assessment that already we can improve a lot of the skills that we're using in task 1 and 2. So I just want to really nail that. I hope you enjoyed Doctor Who tonight. I'm a little bit tired out from all the excitement, but I've got some jelly beans and I'll be munching those whilst I talk. So yeah, feel free to pause or rewind. Hopefully not fast forward, because it'd be a bit pointless me being here, and I could be playing Xbox. So yeah, don't fast forward me just yet. But yeah, enjoy the tutorial. So this video and the task we're going to do following it next week is going to be based around the early stages of the design process, and that's going to roughly mirror the tasks 1 and 2 of this graphics assessment. And what I'm going to do is base it around a real world example, which is going to be an unsigned music artist. And what you're going to show me in the lesson is that you've fully understood the run-up to successfully pitching a design idea. And that run-up is going to be several stages. Those stages are going to follow the design process that we've already looked at and that you should have notes on. So we're going to build on that, go into a bit more detail, and throughout the course of this video I'm just going to talk you through it and give you some advice and tips as we go along. Now, I've been lucky in the clients that I've worked with in the past have always had something about them that I've been able to relate to, or that I enjoyed and liked about them or their music or whatever. That's not always going to be the case, unfortunately. So the first part of the design process is meeting the client and getting to know exactly what they want, and wherever possible, this is my first big tip, is try and try wherever you can to make it personal to you. So and I know that's hard, but in whatever small way, try and find something in the brief and what the client's asking that you can relate to, or you enjoy already, or make it something that you're interested in. And a lot of that might come just a little bit later when you've started to research the background into the brief and the media product that the client's asking you for. Now the next bit of my advice, the next thing I wanted to say is going to be hard for some of you to take, but already I've seen some of you struggle to get your heads around exactly what the client wants, and that's a big problem, and is going to be an obstacle for you, before you've barely kind of left the starting gate. And that's because if you don't understand exactly what it is the client's asking you for, everything that follows is going to be wrong. Until that is pointed out to you, or the penny drops, or something clicks, you'll be going in the wrong direction, and that's going to take up valuable time and maybe resources. So it's absolutely vital that straight from the off you fully understood the brief. And for some of us that took 2 or 3 hours, and we don't really have that time to spare. So what I'm suggesting now is that you work with someone, and that makes sense because in the media, I have done, and lots of us do work in groups, or at least with a partner. So what I'm suggesting, and a tip now, is whenever we get a new project and we have a new brief and we're just about to start the research phase, that you sit down with someone or a group, and you really hammer out what it is exactly the client wants. And 3-4 heads are better than one, and it just reduces the chance of you going off completely in the wrong direction. So I think working in groups or work with a partner at the beginning of a project, just to absolutely understand that you've got the right idea. Okay, so you've understood the client brief, and at the beginning of a project, it makes sense to get some ideas down on paper, and a really obvious way is to do a mind map or brainstorm. And actually, most of you are brilliant at that, and that's no problem. The only thing I'd say is just make sure that all the ideas you're putting down on paper, you're wherever possible coming at it from as many different viewpoints as you can, which might be tricky, I suppose, and in a way you've got to try and put yourself in different people's shoes. So try and imagine yourself as the client thinking about it. What would the audience for it be, and how are they going to respond? Think about it kind of from a financial point of view, for budget and time, and it's probably sensible to be realistic and only list sort of things that you can actually achieve in the time and the resources and budget that you've got. So all of that should be going into your mind map, as well as any creative ideas that you're going to have. It's probably easier to put the creative ideas down on paper, but it's just as important that anything to do with time planning and resources, the client and the audience, is equally as important. Chocolate. I don't know why they put chocolate in jelly beans. Disgusting. Anyway, so the next part of the video, I'm going to have to sort of discuss the client now. And for this task, it's an unsigned artist who has a video but not released an album and or CD. So that's what we're going to look at. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'll just play this for you. Can't actually remember what he's called, or I think it might be a duo. The client is Strong V, and the single is In Control. So let's watch the video.
It feels like I'm dreaming, but I feel my soul. And when shit hits the ceiling, we might lose control. But I'm gonna fight them off, I'm gonna tell them no. I'm gonna shout it out loud that I won't let go. When the beat hits home and you sing that note, you know I've got you in my hand and I won't let go. Like a fairy tale, you know it very well. Wishing well, wish me well. I wish and dream to be rich and well. Close your eyes and imagine this. Life with a price on the tax and slips, thrown in the bag like fabulous. Get them chips with a house full of kids. We're not there yet. I'm thinking Learjet. We'll be there in a mere sec. Belvedere on the headrest. Get up to Hollywood. That's what I promise you. Dodgy Fendi Prada shoes. Too short.
Okay, so that was Strong V. He's the guy with the girls and the jewelry, and he's actually Canadian. And the other guy is Pierre Cook. So yeah, good. Hope you enjoyed that. It's not my cup of tea, but that's fine. Like I said at the beginning, we can't always have perfect clients, but there you go. So the brief is that you're going to design an album cover, and the same image on the album cover will be used in the iTunes store for the download. And for this song, we're not going to use a photo of Strong B. It's going to be a created graphic that you're going to design. Okay, so before we go any further, I'm just going to mention really quickly the importance of confidence and personality, and both are essential to delivering a good pitch and having a strong design product. Your confidence is going to come from having been thorough in your preparation. So that is your research, getting your ideas on paper in your mind map, and all the pre-productions that you should know how to create to be thorough. So all your sketches and mood board. Personality is really important, because you want your personality to shine through your work. So you can give it humor or your own sort of emotional intelligence, and really put your own experiences into the work. So I think that's a key point, and something I'd like to see next week, actually. So I definitely want to see everyone bringing something of their own personality, which I think is going to be a challenge for some of you, because you might not be able to connect immediately with the client. Okay, so I'm going to finish up pretty soon. I'm just going to give you a summary as I hunt for a blueberry jelly bean, which I found. So first of all, some points that I think we should really focus on. So they're the things that I think we need to develop. So the first is collaborating with a partner or in a group, so you can share ideas about the client brief. And that way you've got less chance of being mistaken and going off in the wrong direction. Secondly, that we're thorough in our research. So we look at similar products. In this case, you're going to be looking at the music industry and staying in the same genre. you're also going to need to understand some of the technical stuff, and that kind of links in with this idea that I can teach you the knowledge, we can find out the knowledge for ourselves, and I can help you develop your skills, and those two combined are going to really make your project strong. On top of that, if you've got talent that you've already got and you're bringing to media, then that's fantastic, and that's going to maybe make the design process a little easier for you. But essentially we can all succeed because we can all apply learned skills and knowledge that we've learned for ourselves to do well. I've got some notes here as well. Let me just double check what else I need to cover for you, and then I'll let you start thinking about that, and I'll look forward to working with you all next week. And fingers crossed, I won't actually have to do any talking. You'll be able to just get straight down to it. So let's just have a little look here. I've written down. This might be useful. Keeping a scrapbook. That's what I do and always have done. So between now and then, anything that you see in magazines, or I suppose digitally. If you can record information on your smartphones or tablets or computers and make a scrapbook, and you can turn that into a mood board really easily. And that's partly why I got you to create your own Pinterest account. So maybe you could use that as part of your planning. Establish a budget. That's probably less true right now, but certainly if you're going to go on to college or freelance or whatever you want to do, you're going to need to understand costs and money, and that's time planning as well. Be objective, and I've written this, just to ask people, ask your friends, and maybe people who you might think are close to your audience, what their opinions are. For that, you could use a questionnaire, or simple messages or texts, or forums, or whatever it is that you want to use to gather other people's opinions. Maybe just writing them down. Let's have a look at check the internet. So use the internet by all means, but not to copy and paste. We're not allowed to do it in the real world, so there's no point you doing it or me teaching you how to do it. The exception to that is probably to use royalty-free images, images that don't have copyright, so the owner has posted them for everybody to use. So no copyright. Royalty-free means you can use the image, and even though you'd have permission to use it, you don't have to pay royalties on it either. So both are fine to use, and even better if you just keep a reference of where they came from, because that's good practice. Any assets that you use anywhere, you need to keep a record of, and they should be saved and labelled, and if they're on a memory stick or a hard drive, or on a cloud drive, wherever they are, you need to give them a file name that you remember, and in a place that you've got a record of somewhere. And that's just I do that by habit, so you need to learn that. Couple of design things, I suppose. You don't always have to use an image. You can create your own graphics, like a logo, or a shape, or an abstract design, and that is absolutely fine. And some of the best albums and some of the best media products don't have any artist photos on at all, and they're just imagery that the designer's created. And I suppose in the same way, be aware that you don't always have to be clever with your typography, and you could really trip up on using a font that is hard to read, or merges with the background, or isn't just is not working. So just remember that it's all about communication. It's got to suit the client, it's got to be aimed at the right audience, it's got to be functional, so you have to be able to read it, and maybe play it safe and keep it simple. So yeah, I think that's enough for now. Next week, I suppose I would love to see something offbeat, always something original. Don't be afraid to take a few risks. This is an opportunity for us to test ourselves a little bit and get some practice in, and really develop our skills to make us more confident. So we could then go into task 3, which is maybe the most important part of this assessment, and that's a chocolate, and have a really good project. Okay, so let's finish up, because I'm all talked out, but at least you can pause this and rewind this and take a break, and watch this in your underpants if you want. It's fine, because I can't see you, and hopefully you got something from it. So if you want to prepare for next week, you can look at the video, think about the client, think about the audience, and start to form an idea of what this album cover is going to look like. Be prepared that you're going to be working with a group, and I'll have several stages of task for us to do in those 2 hours, and if you feel that you want to find out a little bit more about Strong V before I see you, then go ahead. I think let me have a look. He's probably got a Facebook, which I'm sure he has, and do you know what, I'm not going to, but if you want to go and find some images of him, there are, because I'm looking at him now, but I'm not going to give you those. I'll leave you to sort that out and sort through those. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to keep looking. I'm hoping there's a buttered popcorn in here somewhere, but there may not be. But there's a blueberry, and I'll see you next week. So thanks for watching. Good night.